Oh, me. Well, let's get started live. Open up my Sprite bottle here. See if anybody gets on time, or we're going to be a bunch of I forgot it's daylight saving times guy. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how many people actually get in here on time. Hey, Jamie, I see you made it on time. I'm gonna pull my camera back down here. Of course, when I'm sitting here in the recliner, makes me look more pot gutted there. I've actually lost a little bit of weight. Oh, let me sit up in that chair here a little bit. So I won't. Hey, Zach, how is it down under? Probably a little bit earlier for you, isn't it, Zach? Because y'all don't do daylight saving time, do you? Yeah, it's only midnight for you. Yeah, yeah. You can catch me. You can catch me easier now each week. Catch me at midnight Australia time. Or we can say over here, Taylor Swift time. Since Taylor Swift was over there to see y'all uh, for a couple of shows last week, I think. I don't suppose you got to go out and see our American darling while she was over there, did you, Zach? I don't guess you're a Swiftie. Oh, yours has already changed. Okay. Yeah, you didn't go spend you a couple $100 to go see her sing her 30 or 40 songs that she sings. They say she sings a lot of songs. So I guess as these concerts go, a lot of them get their money's worth. But boy, I tell you what, that's one girl that's racking in the money. She's raking it in like nobody's business. That's for sure. She's more of a catch than the Beatles and Elvis Presley and all of them like that. Boy, she's raking it in. She's she's going to be a well. I think she's already made billions. Yeah. Yep. Good morning, Jeff. Boy, you're up early out of California there. You were up early, and Zach's uh, signing in late. I mean, it was he's up there at a late time for him, midnight for him, and what 6 a.m. for you out there in California with this time change. That's really early. That sun hadn't even got out there to you, has it, Jeff? So that's our difference because it's a beautiful morning here. I'm happy for the time change here because we're uh, we really like it and everything when the time does change because I can seem to get a lot more done. We get up earlier and get started earlier. So I don't know how it is for everybody, but we like it. We like it a lot, and we're grateful that we can get out and do some things. And now that spring is getting here earlier, it seems like this year, uh, the wife and I will be able to do some things. If it slows down on the rain, we've had one rainy winter. I'm glad it wasn't cold for us because if we'd had snow every time it rained in the past few months, we would have had a ton of snow. But it rained more. Even the whole East Coast is like that, I think. I keep seeing other people's channels and some of the people up in Pennsylvania and New York and all up in there, they didn't get the snow that they were expecting. So it's been a pretty mild winter, I think, as it goes. Yeah, you don't have to shovel rain. That's a good thing. That is true. With no shoveling of rain. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit easier, isn't it, Jamie? So I don't, if I had my choice, yeah, I think I would take, I'm gonna scoot around this way. Hope everybody can see me good. And is the signal good? I'm coming from the house, so I hope the signal stays good. My signal fluctuates a good bit down here at the house, so I don't know. Can you give me a thumbs up on the signal, guys? And signal and the sound and everything. I mean, it looks good on my end here, but I can't tell because I'm looking off the live screen and I don't know what it looks like off the after it's gone through the Wi-Fi. So y'all let me know. And if everything looks good on it, I hope it is. That's good from your end, Jeff. Well, that's great. That's great. Like I said, I got the Verizon wireless down here, and I mean it's a lot better now. I used to have UVerse, which was terrible. I couldn't even use it. I mean, it was unusable to use it from down here. So when I got the wireless, it's good, but every once in a while it'll flake out on me. The wireless will on the upload. So I have to try to be cognizant of what it is and try not to do as many down here live because I have a real good signal at the shop. I've got Spectrum up there, and it's a real good signal up there. I mean, I got a lot of bandwidth up there, and I upload my videos when I go up there too, because when you try to upload them from here at the house, oh, it's painful. It just takes forever, and I can get it in just minutes up there on my Spectrum. I mean, it uploads real quick. Give me a little bit of something to drink to clear my voice. Yep. Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, I hope everybody's had a good week this week. I've had a pretty good week. I hadn't had too many doctor's appointments or anything like that. Gosh, I look really, way this camera angle is, I look twice as big as I am. like the old saying goes, how many cameras you got on you there? Because they said the camera adds about 10 or 15 pounds. It looks like I got 3 cameras on me, don't it? I mean, I'm looking broad here, and I'm actually not that broad. Even Mike Dirt Boss, he was talking about that when he met me for the first time. He says, "You're not as big as I thought you were." Yeah, because I guess through this camera and everything, I look heavier, and I'm actually losing some weight. I don't know if anybody can tell, but I'm actually losing a few pounds. I've been they changed my medication up on my diabetes, and I'm on that Ozempic now. I was on Bydureon, and this Ozempic does a little bit better for the weight loss stuff too. So hopefully I can lose a little bit of weight and get my A1C down a little bit. That's the thing. My brother has been on it for about a year and a half, and he got his A1C below 7, which I'd like to get mine down below 7. So that's what my goal is that I'm more interested in that than the weight loss. I mean, but if I get a little bit of weight loss in the process, I'm not going to knock it either. So it is what it is. No, Jamie, Spectrum, I have tried, and you know how close my shop is to my house, but that's as far as they'll run it is to my shop. And I have asked them multiple times if they would run it down the road. I mean, they'll let me pay for it. They'll let me pay $50,000 or whatever, or a ridiculous amount, 30,000 or something, and get it. But I'm not up to doing that. So I'm just going to keep the money, and the Verizon is pretty good. The Verizon tower is fairly close, so I get a pretty good signal. And just occasionally it drops and everything. So As far as downloading a video or movie or whatever, it does pretty good 90% of the time. Doesn't buffer too bad. But the upload is the worst part. Trump's doing. I guess he's having to find out about reverse mortgages or something right now, because he definitely is in hot water as far as money. They have tried their best, Zach, to break that man money wise, and he's paying out a fortune in lawyers' fees, millions of dollars worth in lawyers' fees, and then they got all these fictitious. They got that one lady that they awarded about $100 million, some sexual or libel suit against him. I mean, she was found not guilty on the sexual assault. He didn't do that, but then they said she sued him again for libel, and they won that against him. He said that he said something about her, and they gave her a ridiculous amount, 10 times more than they gave anybody. And then they did the same thing on that thing where he borrowed money, and they said he inflated his assets, which everybody does. Everybody that's ever bought anything, they want to get the maximum amount for their assets when they go to a bank. And all the banks loaned him the money. They had auditors and everybody to go out and check his property. They had everything checked out. But this one judge, he decided he's going to fine him $355 million. To me, he should have just gone in there and said, we're going to fine you $1 gazillion, because it made it just as much sense. I mean, it was stupid. Yeah. I hate we lost Toby Keith. He was a great singer. I never got to see him live, but he always put on a great show. It seemed like I hate we lost Toby Keith. He was a good American boy too, and straightened out things and said it like you want to say it. And I really liked Toby Keith. Hate we lost him, but yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I like Toby Keith a lot better than I like Garth Brooks. I can tell you that. Garth Brooks is a little bit. He's a little bit ultra liberal for me. I'm not into Garth Brooks, and him and Trisha Yearwood, they're a little bit politically on the other end of the spectrum. At least they appear to be. They sort of pander to that crowd. Yeah. Biden had a handful of people, and Trump has the auditorium full. Yeah, it's a big difference when you look at the rallies. Biden can't muster anybody. I mean, who wants to see him? He stumbles over everything, because I think the past couple 2 or 3 days though, they've really had him drugged up. I mean, you saw how he shouted, and I mean, if he wasn't on Adderall or I don't know what they shot into him for that State of the Union speech, but boy, he was all rip roaring to go and shouting, and I mean, you could tell he sounded drugged up, because I mean, he was shouting the whole time. He wasn't making a speech; he was just shouting. And of course, he practiced it probably 1,000,000 times before he got out there, and that sort of stuff. But still, I think 99% of the people see right through him, and all the lies he's telling about the economy. I don't have to hear him say, "Oh yeah, the economy is doing good." The stock market doing good and the economy doing good, two different things. I mean, just go out and buy gasoline. Just go out and buy something normal. Go out to the grocery store and buy the groceries. Go buy the soda or just regular, staples at the grocery store, and you'll find out real quick that it's definitely a lot higher and everything. Well, I don't know how I can make myself look any slimmer. I guess lose more weight. Oh me. Yeah. Yeah. They gave Joe the good stuff to pump him up, to get him up there on stage, didn't he? Because he did. He looked like some I've seen these kids to get on these energy drinks and they get all wired up with extra caffeine. He looked like he had had 2 or 3 energy drinks before he went out there, and probably Adderall and just a bunch of other things that they can pump him up to to do something. Of course, he'll wear out and sleep for a week, I bet. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I hope everybody will keep in mind how everything 4 years ago, what it was like, as opposed to the last 3 or 4 years. The last 3 or 4 years have just been horrendous. And to think how many people that we have crossed the border. I mean, right now we have probably 10 million people that have crossed the border, and they have no idea where they're at, except they know a lot of them's in New York City and Chicago trying to get benefits, and those crazy people up there are giving, taking away from the people that are actually in need, that are Americans, like our veterans, taking away from benefits that a veteran should get, or taking away something that a young mother might need. But nope, they're going to give it to the illegals, and they're illegal. Even Joe got that right, and he got fussed at and illegals. I mean, they won't. That shows you how stupid the Democratic Party is right now. That they think if they change all the words, they want to call them undocumented, or they you know, displaced people. You know, they try to say anything other than illegal. Yeah, he couldn't get Lincoln Riley's name right. Called her Lincoln Riley, and that's disgraceful. I mean, the one girl that got killed by an illegal, and he can't even get the name right, and so he's saying Lincoln Riley. I guess that's because he was good friends with President Lincoln at one time. He's been around so long, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Yep, Zach. We hope that Trump can pull it off too. I mean, he definitely has got. He definitely has a lot of things. I mean, he could change some things for the better to let him get back in there. He could open up some of those oil wells again. I mean, we're shutting down our petroleum products. I mean, I don't know how stupid we can get to let all of our oil be shipped into us, as opposed to drilling what we've got here, which they've already proven that we probably have 400 years worth of reserves. By 400 years, we ought to be able to figure out something else by then. We don't have to do it right now. I mean, good gosh. I mean, that's like saying you'd have to restrict George Washington or the Pilgrims something. That's how far back. That would be the same difference between our time and the Pilgrims before we would run out of oil reserves. And by then they ought to have alternatives. I mean, think of the progress they've made in making synthetic fuels and synthetic oils just in the past 20, 30 years. I mean, there's technology. And if we're able to not restrict what we're doing and try to improve the technology, behind plastics and oil and everything else. I mean, who wants to do without their plastics? I mean, the plastic industry, we do everything with that. I mean, you look at just about everything around me here, you got plastics. I mean, if we had to have everything forged out of metal that we use, I mean, it would be a very expensive and very time consuming. And I don't know. I just don't think we could do without it. But that's the craziness of today's society and everything, thinking that you can do away with oil products. And I don't want to do it. I know my wife doesn't want to do that. You still want to get your makeup and everything, don't you, Barbara?
Sure do. I need it.
You need your makeup. My wife says she still needs her makeup. And that a lot of that's oil based and my glasses that I'm wearing, those are got plastic in it. This iPhone that I'm using as a camera, it's got tons of plastic. This computer that I'm using, tons of plastic in it. I mean, the keys here are plastic. It's got an aluminum body, but everything inside with the products and everything, the motherboard and all that sort of stuff, it's made out of plastic. So, we've got to realize what's going on there. And we don't. I mean, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. But hopefully we can get some things changed. I mean, I would like, 2024, if we get 4 more years of Trump and get some things changed around and get rid of these liberal Democrats. I mean, we were talking the other day how crazy the administration is. Not so much Biden, it's Biden's administration that's so crazy. I mean, look at that Rachel Levine that's out there that, we got all these trans people that they put in there, all these DEI diversity hires that they've got. I mean, what good are they doing for us? I mean, I definitely don't want a DEI airplane pilot. I mean, I want somebody that knows how to fly the plane the best. I don't want a DEI doctor working on me. I want the best doctor that's available working on me. I mean, that's what we're getting ourselves into is a lot of that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. Well, and we're and like I said, you got a laundromat over there in Ukraine. I mean, where has Russia and Ukraine have sent money to the Biden crime family, and we can't see it. And if you tell him, oh, well, we can't fuss about Hunter Biden's business. What business was there? There was no business. And influence peddling, and that's illegal as heck. And yet they want to go along. They weren't doing anything wrong. Well, what were they selling? I mean, they fuss about Trump doing trade with other countries. Trump has a product. Trump actually has hotels and golf courses and all kinds of other real estate holdings. He had a actual product that he was selling, his rooms at the hotel. I don't get it. I mean, there's a huge difference between influence peddling and out there selling a product. So, Hunter Biden had never been a businessman, never. All he's ever been is work off the coattails of his daddy. And that one damning video that when Joe Biden was vice president, and he's bragging about getting that prosecutor fired that was over Burisma, who directly was paying Hunter Biden. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna get this prosecutor fired because he's investigating Burisma. And Burisma is the one that's paying my son. That's what he should have said too. Don't fire him because he's one paying my son $80,000 a month for doing nothing. So it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, Sergeant Schultz. Yeah, I see nothing. I see nothing. Uh, yeah, she is about that. And you know, you can look at you can check with body language people, and they'll tell you when somebody does a fast flutter of the eyes that they're trying to hide a lie. And I'm guaranteed to watch her at one of the press conferences. Her eyes flutter like a hummingbird. I mean, it's something terrible, and you can tell. I mean, even the body language that she projects, it's saying lie, lie, lie. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I don't doubt it. I mean, Mitt Romney's been a rhino for years. I mean, I I mean, he's never been anybody. The Republican Party thought he would be the one to put in there a couple of years ago, but he's never been one that I think was that likable. I mean, he was too bland, and he would have been just like the other Democrats. I mean, he had no agenda worth of crap. So I'm glad Mitt Romney never made it to the White House. I he would not have been my choice. I mean, he was too. I mean, he might as well been a Democrat. I mean, he votes that way now. So if there's anything that goes against the Republicans, you can look down. It's probably either Mitch McConnell or Mitt Romney. I mean, that's two in the Senate that you can't trust. So the sooner they get rid of Mitt Romney, the better off we'll be. I don't think he's going to run again, from what I hear. Don't know. What's on everybody's mind out there, other than these upcoming elections, and is anything going on with anybody? I've been working. Well, Jim and we've been working on the Pontiac. More Jim than me, I will say that. So when I say we, I'm the one that buys the parts. Jim's the guy that puts it on. So as far as labor goes, Jim's been working hard on the Pontiac, my 56, and we're putting new floorboards in it, and then he's gotten brake lines, and we're gonna have to put all new brakes and just everything. But the body's good on it, and the motor seems to run good. Transmission seems to do well. We haven't actually got it out on the road to check out the transmission. We run it in the shop up on the jack stands, and but everything seems to be working fine there. And we just need to get it rolling. I'm excited about getting rolling. Jim does a good job. We you don't get in a hurry on when you got old registration restoration, not registration. When you're doing an old restoration, you can't get in a hurry. You got to just go at it methodical each day. And Jim is real good at that. And he's he's got a lot of stuff, got a lot of rust we knocked off that old car and doing our replacements. But that's what we've been working at. Between that and I think I only had to go to one. I had to go get my hearing aid fixed this week, and that was about it. Well, I'm trouble finding a few parts. I'd love to. I'm gonna have to see if I can find me an aftermarket. Y'all guys help me out if you can find an aftermarket bumper. chrome bumper for a 56 Pontiac Chieftain. That's what it is, a 56 Pontiac Chieftain. I'm gonna need all chrome because my chrome is pretty bad pitted and everything. So I'm gonna need to re-chrome everything, and then rest of it I can paint. But it's got a lot of chrome on it. That's the thing, and taking it off and having it chrome, everybody I've talked to has had horror stories. The ones that do chroming around here, it takes forever to get it, and it's very expensive to get it. So getting chrome is a tough market. But I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see if I can. Like I said, they say there's people out there with aftermarket chrome parts. So if I can get those, I'll be happy. And we'll see. I don't know how many Pontiac chrome parts there are. I know if it was a Chevrolet or a Ford, I could probably get it right easy. But with Pontiac's a little more rare, so I don't know how much is out there. But we'll see. I'm not worried about it. I mean, the car will run fine, and I can get 99% of it fixed without having the chrome on there. So, we'll deal with that as we have to. But that's the way it goes. I'm gonna have to about do what I'd show this if Jeff's still in there. I've got I get these bottles of oxygen that Jeff suggested a little more than a year ago, and I about need a swig of it right now. And that helps me out because I get to where I can't talk as much. I've had this lung problem ever since my bypass surgery, and I've got some lung damage. I mean, we've had I had the pulmonary doctor looked at it and everything else, and I run out of breath like I'm running out of breath now trying to talk. So I have to pause a little bit in the process, and I'll pause and read y'all's comments and see what's going on out there in the world and that sort of stuff. But I'm still kicking, so that's the good thing. I'm still kicking, and I'm still enjoying my lovely farm and everything. As y'all can see out here, you can see out in the background, I don't know if you can see the geese. I got a couple of geese on the pond, and as you hear my dogs barking at the geese in the background, they're barking away. But maybe you can see the pond, and there's all the pond. Right down there is a geese. I can see one. I can see one geese. I don't know if you can see him or not. But then the grass is kicking in pretty good. So my pasture's greening up pretty good out there. And hopefully I'll be able to get out there and clean up where we cut down the trees. And then way up in the distance, if I can point, well, let me really point about over that way, you can see my shop. Yeah, right about there. That's my shop up there. So it's about a half mile the way the crow flies. Well, now look, I don't know if y'all can see those deer. There's a bunch of deer. Out my. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna move my camera and see if I can actually show those deer. Way in the background back there. I don't know if you can see them or not. I don't have. Let me move my camera back. Oh man. I'll set up a little bit. Set up, not shut up. But There's some bumper parts on eBay. Okay, I might show me a link on that, Jamie. I have to look for that. But you know, I had the deer are still running out there, but yeah, there were probably about 8 or 10 deer. I guess that's what my dogs were really barking about. I thought they were barking about the geese, but the deer definitely get them stirred up. But they were barking about the geese and trying. I mean the deer and along with the deer, we had the wild turkeys. We got a bunch of wild turkeys that hang out up here. So we're definitely we got the wildlife down here on the farm. That's for sure. Which is nice. Which is nice. And in a few months, hopefully we'll see right back in here. We'll see where my wife has a lot of flowers and everything. When I do one in the springtime, I might could do one outside or something if I can get a good enough signal and just do one outside and show how pretty my wife's garden is. She has a real nice garden. My wife has a good green thumb. She likes to get out and it really makes her happy and it makes me happy. You know, happy wife, happy life, guys. You know that saying, and it's true. And if I can keep her happy, I'm happy. And she's definitely a good gardener. We like to do some things, and she does like the fact that I have equipment, which is good because I can do a lot of work for her with the equipment, and that really tickles her there too. So it's a win-win situation when I mix in my equipment and get to please the wife there. Yeah, I'm the same way with the geese, Walter. I was telling the wife this morning, I guess they'll try to nest again down here on the pond. We've had them in the years past nest, but we got a good many muskrats and cooters in the pond, and they've been able to, they haven't nested well, or and other varmints have gotten their eggs too when they had a nest. So when they start nesting, something usually finds their nest and destroys it, which is fine with me because I don't want a bunch of geese. And those geese, they get brave when they have small geese. They'll get brave and they'll start walking up here in my backyard. Of course, our dogs kind of keep them away from that. Mostly in the past 7 or 8 years, our dogs have done a good job. Yeah, that's nature at work. Like I said, we've got the full gamut uh, when it comes to nature. I mean, we've got muskrats, we got possums, we got raccoons, we got turkeys and geese and peacocks. Like I said, we even got a peacock that runs with the turkeys. I don't. I even looked that up, and they say that they do that a lot of times. Peacocks that turn wild, and that's what we've got. We got a wild peacock that runs with the wild turkeys and everything. So it's something. It's sort of funny. There you can tell that they are really vain and they really want to look pretty and everything because he will come out and I got a Dodge Dually and it's got the big chrome bumper. And every single time it seems like he's right in front of my Dodge Dually. So he can look at himself inside on that chrome bumper. He's looking at another peacock and you'll see him, he'll get out there and fluff out his feathers. And I don't know if he thinks that he's looking at another peacock or he's just looking at himself and he likes it. I don't know what it is, but he definitely looks at himself on my bumper. So if he had a mirror out there, he'd be holding it. or doing his own selfie, I guess you might say. But yeah, a peacock is a narcissistic animal for sure. And of course, the big turkeys are that way too. We were looking at them this morning, and they were fanned out. They had the male turkeys were all fanned out real big, so they were showing their plumage, I guess you might say. So they were showing their self out too. But the peacock, I like. I mean, who doesn't like seeing a peacock with his feathers out? I mean, that's pretty neat. I mean, 90% of the time, he's running around just with his tail feathers way. I mean, they look 10 feet long, and they probably are. But I mean, they're really long feathers, that that extend behind him. But it is pretty neat when he does he spreads everything. So I guess I like that part. And he's got the weirdest noise. I don't know if anybody's ever heard a peacock, or how many that have heard a peacock, and they are really loud, really loud. And that's one thing that's different about peacock. Yeah, I got my own zoo down here, Jamie. Yeah, I don't have to go. I don't have to go to. I mean, I think it's funny. I saw some people talking about Caves Cove up there in Tennessee, and we went up there, and I'm going, what are they all stopped the cars and looking at? Traffic was really backing up, and all it was a couple of deer. I mean, just a couple. I mean, I see 10 times more right here in my backyard every single day. And I keep thinking, and this is what we drove over here to see, was a couple of deer, and I could have stayed at home and seen that in my backyard. I mean, I have to dodge the deer down here. When I take off to go from here back up to the main road, if it's at night, I definitely have my headlights on bright, and a lot of times I'm blowing my horn so I don't get a deer, jumping out in front of me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to advertise it too much, Jamie. I don't want to advertise the fact that I've got a what do you call it? Not a zoo, but a oh gosh, I'm trying to think what. There's a word that you can call it when you've got a like a conservatory for the animals and everything. That's about what I've got down here. I guess will be an animal conservation. I guess that's what I am, an animal conservationist, natural preserve, yeah, or nature's preserve. Yeah, that's what I have down here. Like I said, I've got all aspects of animals. And the only thing I'd sort of say bears, but actually I've had some bears in this area. I've never seen one on my property, but there have been some sightings of some just, a mile away from here. There was actually one that was caught on the closed caption. I mean, the cameras of the hardware store that's just about a mile away from here. And he had a couple of black bears and a cubs and everything else out in front of his uh, hardware store early one morning before they opened up. So there have been some sightings. There have been some sightings, that's for sure. Well, guys, I am about to talk myself out, and I hope everybody is that wanted to talk this morning and chat this morning has gotten in here this morning, because I definitely I know there's probably some that are going to go, gosh, I forgot. I mean, I haven't seen Joey yet, and I'm just wondering if Joey forgot to turn his clock, change his clock around, turn his clock back. Or spring forward But what it is, you make it go forward and you lose an hour is what you do. So everybody lost an hour last night, but maybe not Joy. Joy hadn't been in here, so I don't know if Joy lost an hour or not. He maybe didn't, but we'll find out. We'll find out next time Joy pops in. Well, guys, I'm gonna head on out. I've enjoyed it as usual. I'm gonna try to do my best and stay healthy and try to keep myself rocking and rolling. And I hope I have a good week. Yep, appreciate it, Jamie, Walter, and I'm Jeff and Zach and all the other guys. So yeah, I'm glad y'all jumped in here, and I'm gonna head on out, and I'll catch y'all around. See you later, guys.